Woo! Can you feel the energy? Energy is building up here because we are here today to celebrate as we always do each week, to come together with the energy of what's going on around us. We are gathering of life into spiritual fellowship. My name is RevJoAnn. It's wonderful to have everybody here this day. We are in celebration of May, and the merriment of May, and the beauty and the wonder of May, and we are celebrating Beltane. And in Beltane, we think about that concept of sacred relationship and balancing the masculine and the feminine within ourselves so that we can walk more clearly on our spiritual paths. Goddess is alive. Magic is afoot. We celebrate the cycles of life and the different changes of the seasons, and this is a time of newness, and we're all looking to be new again, aren't we? So Beltane is that time, and in our words of wisdom, we described it. And I love that idea, like jumping over the fires, right? Letting burn out whatever they've burned off, all the old bugs and things, that were helping them. But we jump over the fire too to see about what we need to let go of from the winter season. And it's always that process in spirituality and spiritual growth, is that idea of really cleansing ourselves. What do I need to let go of? And every day, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, we're taking on something, right? You're taking on an attitude, something that you're hearing, and that's all important to always constantly say, very simple, very profound words. How important is it? That's a real spiritual concept, guys. How important is it? Think about the things that you were concerned about 5 years ago. How important is it today? Right? So this idea, so we get into that, and we get into that with relationship with each other. I like to talk about relationship at Beltane because it is the wedding of the male and the female. And in order for all of us to come into relationship with each other, we need to be balanced in our relationship with ourselves. Many of you know the Khalil Gibran, and he talks about the marriage, right? And in that concept of the marriage, he talks about the oak tree and the cypress tree. That's what you need to be in a marriage. Two separate trees that stand beside each other. They're not the same tree. They're not trying to be the same tree. They know who they are, but as they grow strong together, they are two pillars that hold up the one roof in their uniqueness, in their individuality, in their strength of coming together, in their balancing of their masculine and feminine aspects of themselves. Too much we want to separate out and divide out and say that because I am this, I am only this. I say to you today that this idea is to have that joy of spring, to have that jubilance of making things grow and bloom and blossom and be wonderful and new, that we need to know the parts of ourselves and we need to integrate them all together and put them all together in our lives, not to be more one way than the other way. Because now I'm looking for somebody else to, sorry guys, but this one really gets me, to complete me. Nobody completes you. You are the completion of the divine made manifest in this moment. But you might want to build something beautiful, but you need something strong beside you, feeling as complete as you are, to walk beside you. And that's the idea of sacredness in relationship. The Course in Miracles talks about relationship in two ways. It talks about special relationship and it talks about holy relationship. And the special relationship, it means is that you're in a relationship because you think you're lacking of something and you need that something from somebody else to give it to you. Guys, what happens with that is that now you start to dislike, to put it mildly, the other person. Because now they're the constant reminder of the thing that you don't have. And then the whole thing just becomes compounded and you're picking away at everything else because who did you pick away at first? Yourself. You picked away at yourself first. By saying that we are lacking, that we are less than, that there is something that we don't have that we need. And what we need to do is to shift that over to have a holy relationship. WHOL. Right? Which is holy. HOLY. Right? When we're whole, we're holy. We're in completion. We're in that oneness. We're in that sense of knowing. And this sacred ancient ceremony is about that. We knew that we cannot have the fertilization of the land unless people came together in wholeness and joined together from the sense of knowing who you are and all your parts and what you need to do, and know that whatever you have and whatever is good that you can do, that is great, and it doesn't have to be what somebody else does. In fact, it cannot be what somebody else does or who somebody else is. Did you ever think that you are exactly the way you're supposed to be? Because you being who you are is just such an amazing gift to all of us. And such a beautiful contribution to the creation of the beauty that all of us can be. The beauty that this season wants to bring out with us. I have this quote here from Neil Donald Walsh. I love the idea that he talks about too in relationship. He says, here's the paradox of all human relationships. You have no need for a particular other in order for you to experience fully who you are. And without another, you are nothing. Don't you love the paradox in spirituality? It drives us crazy sometimes, doesn't it? Come on, you know it. But it's there, always challenging us. He says, this is both the mystery and the wonder, the frustration and the joy of human experience. It requires deep understanding and total willingness to live within the paradox in a way which makes sense. I observe that very few people do. When you lose sight of each other as sacred souls on a sacred journey, then you cannot see the purpose, the reason behind relationships. So we are seeing each other as sacred souls in this relationship that we have with each other. What am I learning in my exchange with you? Am I bringing my highest self in this moment? Or am I bringing all of my fears, all of my distractions, all of my sense of lack in this moment? That does not fertilize creative endeavor. It fragments and separates and doesn't allow us to come together. He says, the soul has come to the body and the body to life for the purpose of evolution. You are evolving and becoming, and you are using your relationship with everything to decide what you are becoming. Think about that. My relationship with everyone, my exchange with all of you is deciding what I am becoming. Not what I'm trying to get you to do or believe or to think about me. I am literally creating within myself who I am. And I, a person that stands tall like the tree, knows my roots where they are, is able to shine and spread out and be at one with that. Do I know that I am part and parcel, that I am part masculine and feminine, that there are times that I am giving and there are times that I am receiving, that there are times when I am passive and there are times that I am more strong and showing my strength, or there are times when I am flexible, or times when I am certain and strong and steady. Hear all the different parts of the male and the female, the animi and animus. We're going to do a meditation that's going to hopefully bring you in connection with the God and Goddess within you. And to help us to understand that and to come back into that place. Knowing our receptivity, knowing our protective nature. And he says, I'm just going to finish up with Neil Donald Walsh, and he says, this is the job you have come here to do. This is the joy of creating self, and self with a capital S, self. I know we get very busy each day focusing on that small s self, that personality, that individuality, the one that has to be so unique and different in the world. But maybe we should be focusing more on that capital S self, the one that knows the Christ within, the one that knows our Buddha nature, the one that embodies all of the names of Allah, the one that we are to become, to live, to be. He says, becoming consciously what you will be is what is meant by self-conscious, again, capital S self. You have brought yourself to the relative world so that you might have the tools with which to know and experience who you really are. Imagine that. That's the wonder of the child. Imagine that, bringing that back as an adult. The wonderment of a child living in life and knowing who you are and feeling as connected to the brilliance of all of the flowers and the beauty that is out there. I get so thrilled. I drive my car down this time of year, and we're on Pulaski Road, and by Harborfield School there, they have all the spring flowers out on the trees, and I said, what a beautiful gift whoever designed that school gave to those children, to have those trees and blossom in a very difficult time of the year, right? When things are all coming together and stress and tension and testing and everything, and here's those trees blossoming and being there, and then falling to the ground, each petal, like a beautiful rainstorm, letting go, being beautiful and amazing and wonderful, and at the same time, being willing to surrender and to let go. The masculine and the feminine, all balanced, all one. And so he says finally, your personal relationships are the most important elements in process. Your personal relationships are therefore holy ground. Another line from A Course in Miracles, it says, whenever you meet anyone, remember it is a holy encounter. What you give to them, you give to yourself. So think about that. And also, the holiest spot on earth is where an ancient hate becomes a present love. That is our job this Beltane. To breathe in the wonderment of spring, to be a part of the glory of it all, where we allow the fires to let go of all those ancient hates and be in the present moment of the present love.